If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to become part of this community. Tomorrow on June 4th, Lil Baby and Lil Durk will drop their collaborative mixtape, The Voice of the Heroes. This is a record that I've talked about quite a lot on this channel, especially the past few days, leading up to its, eventual release now this Friday, and I am someone who is very excited for this. I've talked about this many times in the past, but today I wanted to go into what I want from this thing, what I expect, and what I wish for. So let's get straight into it. So yesterday we already got the track list for it, and it's 18 tracks with just a handful of features. We have Travis Scott, Meek Mill, Rod Wave, and Young Thug. So, for the majority of this thing, they will be going solo, or at least just the two of them, since this is like a collaboration. Now, off the bat, I am expecting some solo tracks from both of them. For example, on Drip Harder, that, Baby and Gunna collaborative mixtape that dropped in 2018, which, made pretty big waves. We had them, on most tracks together, then with a couple of features, but then also there were two tracks, one just dedicated to Gunna, and one just dedicated to Baby, and I think it'll be the same for this Durkio and Baby tape. Now, I gotta mention that Drip Harder was, of course, a lot shorter, a lot more concise than, The Voice of the Heroes is gonna be. Drip Harder, I think, was only like 12 or 13 tracks. We have 18 on this one. It was more, it was like 20, some of you guys said, so they already, they're cutting it a bit shorter than they wanted to, but I'm glad about that. I don't like these very long projects too much. I'm very happy that they kept it. 18 is a lot still, but at least not 20, because that would just seem like they're flooding the market, which is never quite a good sign. But I'm happy they're keeping it this way. Now, something I already said yesterday in my video on this is that I don't just want like the hard-hitting, going hard songs that we know they can make. Baby has been going pretty hard with some features lately. He's gotten on Pride is a Devil from J. Cole. He's gotten on Ramen and OJ. Durkio and Baby had a song together, Every Chance I Get, off of DJ Khaled's Khaled album that dropped a couple of weeks ago. Baby has been dropping really hard verses on, for example, Real as It Gets or Everybody, and we know that Durkio can do this too, even though he's a bit more melodic. But also what I really want from them, and I said this in the video yesterday, is those deep cuts that are not like these songs that we know are going to chart. I'm expecting the one with Travis Scott to go very hard, and for that one to chart, which is, that's kind of my prediction. But I want those. I mentioned songs like Close Friends off of Drip Harder, which was that Baby solo track, which was so personal, and it really, to me, it was like the standout track on there because we saw a whole nother side of Baby. For example, Durkio has Internet Sensation off of Just Cause Y'all Waited 2, or a bunch of stuff on The Voice that didn't get like the big recognition because it's not like the type of music that people go to them for. But those are the tracks that like true fans will appreciate, because that gives them a better glance into those artists' lives, and I hope that we get some of those on here. I think to really understand what I mean, I have to explain why I listen to Baby and Durkio, and one of the main reasons is the way that they make their music. I talked about this a lot in the past too. I know I say it a lot, but it's just true. They're people or artists that just go into the booth and freestyle kind of just whatever they're, experiencing in their lives right now. And, the songs are not perfected as a Kanye would perfect a song for his album, but they're rather just left the way they are. And in that, of course, sometimes, the mixing, the engineering is a bit off, and it really annoys me, but that really gives the songs authenticity, and they seem genuine. They seem, just very real, and that's something that both of them pride themselves with being real and with just conveying in their music whatever their lifestyle might be. And of course, they have their phases of turning up, which represents, kind of correlating to their lives, but they also have other moments where they might feel different feelings, and I love when they also use that energy to express that in their songs, and I hope that we get some of those songs together. And I think that combination of both of them, because we know both of them can, kind of fit into this role. Baby had amazing deep cuts on My Turn. Durkio on his past two releases, The Voice, Just Cause I Waited 2, all throughout his discography, he's had amazing deep cuts, and I hope that those are also represented on here. Now, something that I also talked about in the video yesterday is that these two worlds of, Baby's 4PF crew and Lil Durk's OTF, crew, they're very similar in what they represent. They're like staying loyal to the people you came up with, taking care of your family first, and it just represents that whole lifestyle, which I think is also a main kind of factor why people listen to them. That also has to do with their music being very real. And these two people are, so Durkio and Baby, are artists that I've been listening to for that exact reason, independently, just kind of separately, and that they now come together and, representing the same values, representing the same lifestyle and all that, and they make a tape. That is why I think this thing is going to be so special. We've heard some snippets. We know that they have some songs coming out that are just, trap beat and going hard, and of course those would be amazing. I will be listening to those, driving and working out, and they're for those types of occasions, but I also want to see a different side from them, and I know that both of them are capable of this. They've done this in the past, and I hope they can tap into that energy on this new thing again. The whole concept of like the voice and the hero, with Durkio being the voice, of course, and Baby being the hero, I think is also very important to mention. I think they both really see themselves in those roles, and they can take on that persona for their music. Lil Durk being kind of the voice of the streets, representing the people that he cares about and staying true to them. We've seen him really, live that throughout his whole life. I mean, just the fact that he dropped The Voice on December 25th, the day that Newski died, and that was a Thursday, so he lost out on the Billboard charts, which he would have charted with The Voice. That just, that shows how like real he takes his music and how really important it is to him to be very careful in what he does with it, and doesn't just do it for the sake of, topping charts and making, in the end, making money with it. Of course, he's trying to do that, but he tries to stay real while doing it. And Baby is a lot, it represents a lot of the same energy. That's another point that I think is very important to mention when we talk about this, because that's another just example of them really being in that same lane of taking care of their people and putting that first, and that is a major reason why people even listen to them. So I'm looking forward to this. The Voice of the Heroes, Lil Baby, Lil Durk, dropping tomorrow on June 4th. I am hella excited. We got the track list for this thing. I recommend you go check out the whole playlist I made about this album. There is a ton of videos in there that date back to, when we even first started hearing about this album. So I really recommend you go check that out, because there might be some hidden gems in there. And if you want to know everything we know about this, check out the last two videos I made about this, the one called Everything We Know About It and the track list released. I go into a lot of details on there as well. So that's kind of my thoughts on this. Now I want to know what you think. Are you excited for this? What do you expect from this? Do you also kind of agree with me that you want to see more like deep cuts on there that maybe more not so going hard, but rather personal, emotional? At least I'm hoping for that. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media and blog down in the description. It really helps me out. Until the next one, y'all have an incredible day, and y'all take care.